What's going on?
Not much, man.
Not much?
Not much.
I don't believe that. Did you get
What's
your
going on with you?
calligraphy on yesterday?
I did. I calligraphied all over the place.
So I didn't know you were taking a class for that.
Yeah. I originally
less impressive now.
Well, I originally took a single class from a guy in Japan, and I did really pretty well with it, and I enjoyed it. So I started looking for, there's nobody around here that teaches. So I
started looking for couples calligraphy after that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a vaguely inappropriate kind of thing with the things that you do with the ink. Yeah.
Body calligraphy. That's very different.
Ooh, yeah, sort of a.
How have you not invented that yet?
I'm sure somebody has.
Right?
I bet you can find some flavored inks out there.
Of calligraphy. Can you imagine? Here I am in Kyoto with you in this very serious, like dojo kind of environment, and we're having our single, quote unquote, calligraphy class with some wise, 200-year-old Japanese fellow, and like a minute in, I raise my hand, and I can see you just burying your head in your palm, like, oh no, God no, and I say, did anybody ever do body calligraphy? Marcus, can you translate that for me, please? You're like, I refuse.
Sensei, when do we take off our clothes?
Well, when you told me you were doing the Japanese calligraphy thing, I thought, wow. I mean, it's impressive that you would set aside the time. That you would be disciplined enough about setting aside time to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But since it's a class and it's on my schedule.
I felt a little relieved. I felt a little bit better about myself when you said that you had a class, because I thought, okay, that makes sense. Like he has somebody who notices if he doesn't show up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you're practicing,
entirely self-motivated.
Because when you said you were practicing calligraphy in a previous weekend, I was like, man, I want to be like that guy. Like, but it makes more sense when you're like, I'm practicing calligraphy for my class. Like, right. And it's not like not to take anything away from your victory in my head, but it was I guess, I don't know.
Well,
it's weird to say practice calligraphy as opposed to just do calligraphy.
Up until I started taking this class, I was doing it just sort of on my own. But, know, like you being a golfer, that's the other one that everybody talks about. Like, you can't really teach yourself golf. You really need somebody to go through the things with you.
Even that doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah. So clearly, because right here, right? It's like, okay, I hit it that way. Why does it go backwards? Somebody I need a physicist to sort of explain my golf behavior to me in ways that I can understand. But yeah, like that, you can only go sort of so far on your own. And so that's when I started. I mean, I watched some YouTube videos and things like that, but it's like you're watching everybody who's already done all the things and knows all the subtleties of the brush movement and all of that. And all I can do is try to emulate what they're doing, but without some background and working up to, it's just not, I can only do so much with that. So I started looking for classes. And it was a great thing during the lockdown, to do a online course of that stuff.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. That's cool. It's very elegant. I can imagine it's cathartic in some ways, or it's sort of meditative. Like.
Well, it is. I mean, it's Shoto is itself a sort of a Zen practice.
So you're like, yeah, that's.
I mean,
duh.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can actually make these characters.
That is Marcus's way of saying duh. He's very polite about it. Whereas I would just say no, duh. He's very polite.
Respectfully, duh.
So when you say Zen, you mean yeah. I would just get frustrated. That's like the practice of meditation, right? That's why they call it practice also. It's like you're never really finished.
Yeah.
Practicing.
You don't really perform meditation, you just always practice it.
Yeah. And
so that'd be kind of interesting to do, to meditate for an audience. So I've been practicing this whole time. I'm ready to perform. Let's go.
And for my next act,
watch this.
I'm going to do transcendental meditation on a bed of nails.
I will be doing the meditation and simultaneously watching the meditation.
Astral projection. Yeah.
Astral.
Get it? I see what you did there with the sitting on the bed of nails thing. Ha. Clever boy you are. Clever boy. I didn't die last night. I know you were worried about it.
I was very worried about it, yes.
And so that didn't happen, even though we were under threat of tornado watch all night because of Hurricane Elsa.
Yeah. I also didn't die last night.
Oh, well, good. I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Neither of us are currently dead.
Neither.
Okay, cool.
Right. Unless you're...
Let's not go down that road.
The person who's listening is also dead, in which case we probably are. We just don't know it yet.
And we should all get lunch.
We should get
because if we're all going to be dead and we're together in
Why
the
not
same
just have
universe,
lunch?
might as well get
We
together
should
and
get
have
lunch.
some lunch.
Yeah, we should. We should.
One of the Afterlife's great diners or something.
Why is it I feel disappointed that we didn't get hit harder by? I mean, that's a terrible
I know
thing
what
to say,
you
right?
mean, though.
And I know that there's a lot of people whose lives suck today because of that storm,
Yes.
right? I mean, we
Yes.
do know people outside the country who died. We don't know them, but we know of people.
Yeah.
And we know that there's a lot of flash floods happening, and businesses are being disrupted. And
I'm sure the coast is jacked up pretty hard.
I don't mean to be insensitive.
No, but I know what you mean.
What I mean, really? It didn't even really rain.
all my
here. I mean, it's
plants in
raining
for this?
again now. It's raining again.
Yeah.
But I guess because my concern is it's the boy who cried wolf sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that yeah. Because you want people to be prepared, and this is what ends up happening. People are like, "Oh, see, they don't know what they're talking about," and then when the next big storm comes, and people are like, "Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about," and then woof.
Right.
Then you're I'm not prepared. Anyway, I need to get. We should do that together. All the things that we talk about doing together.
We could be preppers together.
We should hurricane prep together. Like
Woo-hoo.
get our little
Cool.
get our shopping list, and we
Find
know
a
what snacks we
generator.
need to buy.
I don't know that we need to buy any snacks because we still have a lot left over from. Have a bag of Monster Munch over there.
That'll sit with you for a while too.
Yeah, you can make it through 2 hurricanes with that.
Yeah, but we need a kit. We need
Yeah.
because I need to replenish the water that I had.
I was coming back from Little Rock. That's where I was this past week, and I was reminded in living color of just what a Mad Max hellscape I-75 is.
Oh.
And I dread any time we actually have to evacuate because every single major road going north is going to suck.
Mm-hmm. I won't evacuate. I mean,
yeah, I doubt I will.
I mean, I think, and I don't mean oh, I'm not evacuating. I'm too. It's that we live so close to Disney.
Yeah.
That I'm just gonna go there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So the last time we had that big storm come through, well, it didn't end up coming through. It was the one that devastated Puerto Rico, and it was a Category 5.
Maria?
It just sat off the coast. It just sat there.
Oh, right, just sat
lingered.
there. Yeah, and that's
then,
why it was so bad for
And it just threatened us, and it looked like it was like a couple of the models had it coming in inland and impacting Orlando in a big way. Mm-hmm. So it was scary, and so I was like, well, I found which resorts allowed dogs,
Uh-huh.
and I booked a room.
I'm surprised there were any open.
There were so many. No, I think because so many vacations got canceled.
I guess so, but it seems like there would be a lot more people that have the same idea that you do.
No, I don't think they want to spend the money. I think they'd rather leave town.
I suppose that's true.
It's still not cheap. It's not like Disney says, "Oh, well, come on in. It's a bargain this week." No, they don't do that. They say we're going to treat this week just as any other week. So it would have cost probably where I was looking. It would have ended up costing probably $600 or something like that. I mean,
for
maybe more
two
than
nights?
That for 2 nights. Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not too bad. I mean,
no,
some
it was
of those
September.
freaking places are crazy.
September's not. That's an off season. I think. Anyway, didn't end up having to do it and was able to get it canceled and refunded and everything. No problem. But I think that's what I'll do because their
stuff is built pretty stout.
I mean,
it's still there, isn't it?
It's still there. I mean, and they pretty much have their own grid for the most part.
Oh yeah, they do.
And they've got they've got food coming out of their ears. Like from a supply chain standpoint, they're not going to get as
they've done all the prep.
They kind of know what they're doing. It's not to say that there's no risk involved, but it beats driving up that interstate.
Oh Lord, it does. And to go where? What, Lake City? Come on. Valdosta? No, thank you. Yes, I feel much better here.
You know what they need to do? Because if they really wanted to, they should put Universal in charge.
Of what?
Of the roads, the evacuation routes. And then they should have Max Pass, whatever they call those things there. They should have this lane. Like you pay extra, you get to go in this lane.
$50 and you can get in the diamond lane.
Yeah. And then you fly.
Yeah.
And then anybody else, the other people in this lane, they just have to wait. We do it on toll roads. They do it on toll roads now. They have, have you not seen any toll roads that have maybe it's California. They have it in Maryland too, where they'll have special lanes that are just, they're paid. They're toll
gold
lanes.
Members or whatever.
They're toll lanes. You basically are paying. A lot of times, it started as like the whole HOV thing. And then it became like a paid thing. And so you pay money and it's like first class. You're subsidizing the ticket costs, the ticket price of the people not in first class. I mean, you're paying proportionally more to get to the same place. He's like, yes, you get extra things, but that doesn't equate with how much more you're paying.
Sure.
So, that's kind of like the toll lanes. Like they help pay for the other lanes that everybody else is on for free.
So the whole thing isn't toll. Just these express lanes are toll.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah. I love it. You're running late. You're
that is right up your alley.
I'm going to spend $750 to get there on time. Yes. Thank you very much.
You like plussing it up with a charge.
It's so roomy. I know. So another thing happened last night. I'm just going through my list. Train TV.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering about that because you sent me the train emoji and then a TV, and it took me forever because that's a very detailed emoji that is very, very small, and I couldn't for the longest time figure out what the heck that thing was, but then I finally figured it out. But yes, train TV. What are we talking about here?
All right, well, I'm trying to find it's like in my history here. Oh, here we go. Is this the same? I found this channel, or this channel found me, maybe, called Rail Cowgirl.
And this channel is YouTube or what?
Yeah, on YouTube. Sorry,
okay.
Rail
Cowgirl.
Yeah, RAIL, like rails. Cowgirl. So,
and I should look this up on Urban Dictionary, or what should I?
I don't know what you'd see there, but I can tell you here, it's got 326,000 subscribers.
That's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah,
so I'm not
38. I'm not the first to find it. Hey, do us a favor and subscribe today.
Yeah,
Just pause it and go
button.
subscribe.
Smash that like button.
If you're on YouTube watching this and you haven't subscribed, you really have no excuse.
Down there somewhere.
There's like a little bell thing. Turn on your notifications. Okay, and then so basically it's just these cab views, like for sort of front of the train, of this, like these scenic railroad routes in Norway. I mean, usually in the winter. I mean, it's a lot of winter there. It's a lot of winter. And I'm watching this last night, and they say live, but it's really just like live chat. That's all recorded, pre-recorded. Right. And I'm watching this, and because I think Michelle, for whatever reason, was watching our YouTube episode, like the okay. And so when I turned on the television, did she subscribe? I don't know. She was probably watching. I think she was watching on my account. It's like, you're not even helping. I know, right?
I know you're subscribed.
I know.
That doesn't help.
So
we don't even have the custom.
Because when I exited out, I was like, no, not these guys. When I exited out, I got this little real cowgirl thing up as a recommended video. So I was like, oh, what's this? To look at it. 20 minutes later, I'm just sitting there watching it.
Got sucked in, huh?
And at some point, Michelle says, well, I said, so like, this is fascinating. I was like, she said, it's interesting. And I said, you think it's interesting, see? And she's like, no, I think it's interesting that you think it's fascinating. I don't think it's interesting. She's like on her phone. It's like
a little much, but
well, it's like, texting with people or something. She's so tuned out at this point. I'm into it. I have the map up on my phone. I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, I see the town that they went through. I'm trying to find. Oh, I found it. I'm like, I know where they're going. I was so excited. And Marcus, you would love this. You and I don't know what this says about us, but our threshold for excitement maybe is too low, because you and I could sit down probably and just watch the heck out of this. Like,
it sounds pretty cool.
All day.
Actually.
We were like, yeah.
Well, like I said, I've been on one of those train routes in Norway. I've been on the one from Bergen to Stavanger.
That's this one. That's the one.
I've been on that.
Yeah. I felt your presence.
I may have been there. Hey, Jason.
Yeah, we ended up in Bergen.
What's up?
So Bergen was the last stop.
Okay, cool.
And they went through this brand new tunnel. They went to this brand new tunnel that was just built recently. It took 600 days to bore the tunnel. I don't know how many more days to actually finish it. Yeah, it was fascinating.
Paint.
It's like pop-up video too. You get these like little,
trivia things,
factoids that come up. Like,
dude, pop-up video was so awesome. Wasn't that a great friggin' show? How come that hasn't gone forward? And there should be a pop-up video layer on every movie that you buy that does the same sort of thing.
Yes.
This dude was in something else, or whatever. And this
so doesn't Amazon do something like that on their?
They have what's it called?
Like the little
X-ray?
things at the top. X-ray, and it sort of.
It just shows you, like, it says who is in this scene right now.
Yeah,
I don't know who had to go through all these movies and do that, because some poor schmuck is like.
Well, hopefully it uses AI at this point, and it's like, okay, recognize his face.
But it nails it pretty good. Like, if somebody leaves, that thing goes away. But I'm
gonna send this to you.
Okay.
Because you deserve to see this.
I do.
And I think Emily deserves some alone time.
I'm over here being fascinated by the train ride.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know her well enough. I don't see her saying, like,
the train. Oh yeah, there we go.
I don't see her saying, like, oh yeah,
Norway.
Let's watch the freezing cold morning with pink winter sunrise.
Yeah, that's the one. There wasn't snow on the ground. We went in the summertime.
The one I watched was at night, and there was no snow on the ground either last night. It was icy in the tunnels, and I was getting nervous. At one point, they're going downhill, and I do the conversion because I don't speak kilometers. I'm like, oh, it's like doing 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour at one point down Ooh.
Yeah.
Didn't you see those icicles hanging back there?
Yeah, Norway's one of those countries that if you go in the summertime and it's daytime like all the time, which is really freaky. I've been to Alaska, of course, and it's like that there too, but I never get used to that. It's so nuts. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're camping, because there's no blackout curtains in a tent.
You got to bring your little masks with you.
I guess so, but I hate wearing those things when I go to sleep.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like the eyes? Yeah, I just don't like
get the kind I have.
Sensation. Oh yeah?
I got the kind that have like a little, like it cups around you, so it you have a little gap. It's like it's a little
maybe that would help.
Little cups, yeah, and so it doesn't. So I don't like the other ones either because it's like it's just pressing up against my eye. I'm like, that can't be good for my eye.
It just feels like weirdly hot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, these have like uncomfortable. Yeah, these are nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Emily's got a pair that look almost like a tiny bra. They're like, they're sort of little domes. It's like a neoprene or a some kind of like a synthetic elasticy kind of fabric. Mm-hmm. And then they're in these little sort of formed domes or whatever. It's like a little tiny bra.
Like a little bra, a little eye bra. Not an eyebrow. An eye bra.
We're changing the face of underwear for women, and we're calling it eye bra.
We're literally changing the face.
And it's insanely great.
I'm going to find it here. Oh, no.
It just works.
Remember when you could just search for mask and you wouldn't get a whole bunch of things in your history for Amazon?
Right.
Now, not so much. I'm sending you this too.
No, I'm just getting a bunch of links today.
You are. I'm link happy. Marcus Fowl. There you go.
Hey, listen.
Oh, no, wrong person. He'll be like, why did I get this? There you go.
All right. Sleep Mask by Bedtime Bliss.
So the train. I mean, I just feel like I need a little bit more of that in my life. The train,
train stuff.
I almost want to just have. I mean, it's very here with the Magic-ish too. I
see that.
I kind of like. I just want to have like a screen over here. Going.
Like just training through some.
Yeah.
Wilderness and
where are we going?
Vistas and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I would really love is the equivalent from an airplane from the cockpit.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you don't agree with that?
I'm thinking like
that's weird.
If like a small plane going over like terrain, because I mean if you get like a jumbo jet, you're going to get pretty much the same thing every time. It's going to be clouds and grayish blue sphere underneath you.
I don't think that matters.
Is that okay?
Okay. Because I mean, how many times do you watch your Apple TV screensaver thing when it's like
I stare at it constantly.
The space view, like the one.
Yeah, I mean the space views are. I don't find those as interesting.
Space view because I'm like, I think I know what that is.
One's better.
And then.
Oh no, that's fun. Pick the continent or whatever. Yeah.
Or like, have you ever seen the NASA channel and you can get the live view of the ISS?
Mm-hmm.
So
that thing hauls butt.
Same idea. It's like, it's moving at like 18,000 miles per hour. Not too fast and not too slow. It's very important to
kind of a mathematics thing, and really quite crucial.
You need to just constantly be falling.
You're falling, but you're missing. That's the best part.
Right. You're just always falling. It's basically like running. It's like, except
and you might get struck by lightning.
Too soon. I don't know. I think that would be nice to be able to like have a.
Uh-oh. Do we have a new product coming out?
Well, I mean, it's out already. Okay, so you've seen the show. You've seen the show. I forget what it's called. On like how they make the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. It's like a weird like Disney Gallery, which is kind of a strange name for it.
It's a weird name for it. Yeah. But they have. I forget what they call it. The technology, the screen that they have in their studio or whatever you call it.
It's kind of like
studio. They call it a lot or whatever.
It's just like a regular old word, but it's kind of like the program that they used to simulate the battles in Lord of the Rings was called Massive, and this is kind of a word like that, I think.
But it seems normal though too, right? Like
right.
I know what you and it's basically a giant screen that surrounds everything. right, on the stage, on the set. And so then the environment is simulated on that screen. So like all the CGI stuff that is done to make it look like you're either in a different place in time or moving, flying through space or whatever, is all projected onto that. And at first I thought they were doing that just as a way to kind of give the actors and directors
and then they would
reference.
replace it later.
Yeah, and then it's replaced.
Yeah.
No. It's actually
that's what you're seeing.
Filmed. That's it, captured in the film.
Crazy.
And it's so good that they use it to light the scenes.
Yes.
So you
It's
actually get like
amazing.
ambient light. So if you're watching a sunset, like, oh, we need a sunset that lasts 8 hours,
Right.
Because that's how long it's going to take us to get these shoots done.
Instead of trying to crank it out 20 minutes every day over a week.
We can just do it. Oh, you want the sun, you know what? The sunlight hitting would be better if it came from over there. They can just rotate the whole darn thing.
It's nuts. It's so
Right?
crazy.
Okay.
Did you see where they were doing the lava river or whatever, and they were in that boat?
I haven't seen that
And
yet.
like the whole thing is like moving, and the glow of the lava is coming from the screens, and it's just amazing. It's so cool.
So
like 80% of the show is shot on that thing, and you wouldn't think that hardly any of it was.
And the actors love it.
Oh man, I can tell that
Because
you're not looking at a giant green nothingness
right.
with a piece of tape on the wall. This is the biggest and scariest monster you've ever seen. It's a ping pong ball just kind of hanging out up there, and you just got it. Well, okay.
It's pretty cool, but you can tell everybody like just likes playing with it, and you know, like, and so I think, I mean, dude, like basically, if I had enough money to just like order one, I could have one. I could have like a miniature one in my office.
That would rock.
I mean, I feel like we're like 2 minutes away from this happening. In real, why not?
I mean, what do you need? You need what?
It's so much better than VR,
diameter?
honestly. I mean, imagine, people spend all this money. How much? Like, so much money on stupid like Philips light stuff that like gives you like ambient colors from behind your television while you're watching a show or something, which is whatever. That's nice, but what if instead?
Says the guy sitting in front of some orange pink stuff going on his wall.
You spend a lot of money just to get stuff looking orange, right? But what if you instead had the ability to encircle yourself with images that are complementary of like what you're watching. So let's say you're watching Luca, which is a great movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
Haven't yet. It's still in the list.
But imagine if like, okay, yes, you're watching your television screen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The main stuff's happening on the television screen, right?
Yeah.
But this theater in the, what do you call it? Like circular, I don't know, whatever
in the
we call
round.
it.
Theater in the round.
This theater in the round serves as your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
So as you're moving in space and time, like watching the movie, for example, say you're watching an Avengers film and you're in Times Square and you're, and Spider-Man's like swinging down in front and blah, 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 all this stuff's happening. Explosions are all around, right? You're watching the screen, but things are happening around you that gives you the feeling of being really completely immersed in that scene.
Yeah.
Right? There's no like turning around and seeing. I mean, I guess they could do that. But
especially with like Pixar movies, because they've rendered that whole environment and just kind of placed a virtual camera somewhere and moved it around.
That's true.
And like all the people walking by, like if it's in the middle of town square or whatever in the Luca movie, then you should be able to look around and go like, oh, there's Bob going over to the pasta shop over there or whatever people do in Italy.
Yeah, I guess the version I'm thinking of is I'm trying to make it like less technologically sophisticated because that brings the price point down. If you're just throwing colors up and fuzzy images as opposed to like crisp, clean, you know what I mean? That's a little different.
It's not a true 360 total vision.
No, it's just meant to give you the feel of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just think that'd be
sort
a lot
of light
of fun.
and shadowy kind of things.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. That'd be cool.
It would be cool, right?
Very, very cool. Yeah. We need to get on that. Accidentally derivative 360 video screen.
The theater in the round. Yeah, like when you go into a theater.
We call it the donut.
Dude, this would get people back to the movie theaters. We call it the donut.
We call it the donut. We market it.
This would get people back to the
ours.
theater.
TM. This
you know,
ours.
imagine having you being able to sit in a movie theater that had this ability to like.
That'd be awesome.
Just envelop you in. Yeah.
There was this theater in the 70s and 80s in Little Rock called the Cinema 180, and it was a round movie theater, and then on the front of the wall, or where the screen was, is like it had to be like 3 stories tall, and it was like 180. I don't know what the 180 was. It was 180 feet tall. I don't think so. That sounds like that's 18 stories, but it's 180 something, like maybe 180 degrees. No, excuse me, 150. Excuse me, 150. Oh. So maybe it was 150 degrees, because that sounds about right, that it would be from here to there on the wall. And it was enormous. It was fantastic. Only one screen, of course. Yeah. But, which I think is eventually why it shut down, is I don't think they could operate it with just showing one movie. But
plus the movie
man,
would
it was
need
really
to
cool.
be
That would be perfect
for
for something like this.
The movie would have to be formatted for that as well.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do some sort of AI related stuff where it would take the edges and sort of extrapolate.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking with this thing, is that you would have to kind of artificially extrapolate from what's happening. But like surround sound, they will deliberately have sounds happening in different places. The same idea with light. Like you'd have light happening in different places, which would give you the
surround
effect.
Light.
Yeah, so like if you're in an action scene, or even in like Impressions de France, and you're like floating down the waterway, light flickering through the trees, kind of.
Right, and then
you get that sense of it, like
trees going by, but then just sort of vague. Sort of a darkness that moves backwards.
It maintains the illusion.
Right. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
I think we should do that. If you can get right on that.
I think so. Yeah. I'll see what Amazon's got with regards to a whole butt ton of curved LCD screens. I'll tape them all together and we'll see what we can come up with.
This is my bed sheets. He has all these bed sheets.
The 360 projector, which I don't even know what they have those.
Well, you wouldn't need a 360. You need like what they have. You need the inverse of what they use at the Epcot experience presentation thing. They have all those projectors. They have like, I forget how many projectors is it. It's like that's a lot. That are like shining down on various parts of the sculpture in the center. Oh,
right. And it's those it's like bump mapped, like scan, like it's the same kind of thing that they use like on the castle and stuff. Yeah.
But just miniaturized. And so you need that, but you need that in reverse. Like you need
concave instead of convex.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So the projectors are actually, it's like a planetarium.
I guess it would be, wouldn't it? Except you're doing more than just putting dots on the wall. I don't think those are capable of what we're looking for.
No, but the idea that
we can start there.
The idea that the projector's in the center projecting out, and there's going to be multiple projectors but it doesn't need to be. That's what I'm saying. The quality doesn't need to be so. Like the quality of those projectors that are projecting images onto the surface of something. That's a really, really, really high quality projector. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it is.
For our purposes, where we're just saying we just need, like, it's almost like the shadows of images. It's just the...
Right. We need the high quality on the front, but then it doesn't have to be particularly high quality as it goes.
Because I'm seeing this is something that you add on to it. So you have like a Sony or Samsung or whatever. You have your normal television. Mm-hmm. And this plugs in, HDMI or whatever, and gets the information from the encoding, just as it would if you're using, any of the various like what's the sound what's the sound? What's the new Atmos? Like a Dolby Atmos. So Dolby Atmos, yeah, the Atmos sound or something that's all encoded for it. So if you have the receiver for it, then you have it. If you don't, then you don't get it, right? So movies come encoded with this, and so if you have the receiver for it, then you get it, and then it projects the like colors and stuff up. I love this.
Yeah, this is cool.
Damn it! It's never gonna happen. Send your checks to Jason and Marcus.
So you also hit me with.
Sometimes I regret sending these pins.
You can't pull them back.
Yeah.
Which
one are you going to say? Because
I don't know what tested with plumbers means. And I think the enigmatic sort of verbiage there is the one that makes that one stand out to me.
Okay. Without going into great detail, I just noticed one day recently, I don't know why, you know those, I don't know, what do they call them? They're like wipies for adults. They're like flushables. They're like the,
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're like the
the moist
towelettes that you can flush. I don't know.
Wipes.
Like so there's that. Which I never used until I went to Aruba.
And What in Aruba made you?
Well, friends who traveled with us there, they were sharing a condo with us, and then they left early.
Right.
They left early. Earlier than us. It's not like they left early because they couldn't take us anywhere. I don't think they just left. They were planning to leave. Anyway.
Okay, I'll believe that.
So when they left these in their bathroom. They left these and I was like, oh, I'm gonna give this a try. It's very nice.
It's extremely cool, isn't it? It's hard to go back.
How has this never been? It solves so many problems, none of which I will detail here. But one of the big problems is that if you don't use, there's certain kinds. I've tried to educate so many people about this. There's certain kinds you cannot flush. You can't just go and buy the kind that you used to use with the kids when we're changing the diapers and stuff. And those are not flushable. And what makes them flushable is that they have to be able to dissolve, or within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, they are going to clog up the place. Right. So, what was funny is that on this package that I saw, sitting that I never noticed before, there's a little thing. It's almost like the thing you see on the toothpaste, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend blah blah blah.
Right, yeah.
That sort of thing. There's a little thing that says tested with plumbers. And it has a little plumber face, you think, oh yeah, that's a plumber. That's what a plumber's face looks like. And I think they should probably show some. They can't. It'd be too ironic to show the other part that would guarantee you that that's
the one that they use to test.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Tested with plumbers, and I don't know why my mind immediately went to are they high need or something? I don't know why. I know. It took me a second, and then I realized
what they're going for is not what's being communicated.
Right, because what they're going for is tested, they were plumber approved kind of thing.
These you can flush these. These are great. Right. Yeah, but that's not what it sounds like.
Did you say plumber tested? What is this?
Plumbers have used these, and you know what they're like.
I know.
Have you seen what they eat? Well, plumbers can use plum wipe.
That's what I was thinking. So I was like, oh my gosh, the only person in the world who I can share
turn carnage into clean.
Yeah.
But I think anytime you go almost anywhere else in the world, it's you get the feeling that the rest of the world kind of thinks we're nuts for using something dry for that particular need. And I get what they mean. It's like if you were to get poop on any other part of your body, wiping it off with a dry piece of paper without looking would not be sufficient. You would scrub the crap out. Well, literally, you would scrub yourself quite vigorously. And yet... right? I mean...
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that's odd that we're okay with that in the time and scenario where it happens the most. Like, I mean, think about how like you've done it, and all of the perforation has lined up perfectly, and it has split down the middle in mid-use. Now. You finished up and then you washed the heck out of your hand after that. And yet, you didn't so much with the rest of you. So it's, using something wet for this seems like almost like a requirement. I mean, it's kind of savage not to
You really
do that.
don't want to go back after you've had that experience.
No, you do not. And I tell you what will get you even further.
Oh, I know.
You've seen it in my bathroom.
It's scary. It's a little. I'm frightened by it, actually.
But I tell you, man, after you use it and you lose your fear of it, it's like everything else is.
But yours is like retrofitted, right? Like. But you have to understand,
just the lid. Yeah,
he's got this. It's a. I mean, would you call it a Japanese toilet?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the when I came back from Japan, I was like, okay, I've got to have one of these. And it's not a crazy one that like lifts its own lid or whatever. I mean, it's just the seat and the lid, and it's got the squirty bit, and it's got an air dryer, but that doesn't do anything. I mean, you can sit there for like an hour and eventually you'll get it's like, oh, now my butt is wet and hot. But when we were in Japan, like every place we stayed had one of these. And this was the brand. Toto is the brand. And so when I came back, I was like, I'm getting that brand. There's also like, I don't know, Bum Squirt or something, but the Toto is like the yeah. And they do bless the rains down in Africa, if you know what I mean.
I swear, I was not a setup. I have a feeling that's not the first time you've used that.
But yeah, and you just kind of hook it into the same thing that feeds the toilet with the water, and you just need a plug. Now that's kind of the hard part. Is not a lot of people have plug-ins like that close to the toilet, so mine's.
Well, that's the thing. You've got like an extension cord thing going.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this doesn't seem safe.
Well, I
don't even know that I have an outlet in my bathroom. Is the problem?
Usually around the sink, so that you can use like a hairdryer or something.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have like a toilet closet kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why that's why that one's down here and not in our master bath, because that has its own little toilet chamber, and there's nothing in there. Eventually, we want to put an exhaust fan in the shower. Because that just gets way too, I mean, it's really high in the ceiling. And so like a cloud kind of forms up there and just sort of molds everything. So when we get them to do that, we'll get them to put an outlet in the toilet area. Yeah.
Why don't they do that? They don't put outlets in there.
I don't know.
No one ever thinks you're going to need that.
Yeah. You put a lamp or something. Or TV.
You laugh, but.
Not bad.
A little lamp wouldn't be bad. You don't want the full light on.
Yeah, sometimes I want some soft light where I can read.
But I don't want to be in the dark.
Well,
I mean, I don't know why. It's not like I'm seeing anything anyway. But
one of the things that I reminded myself when I was in Little Rock, I went back and worked at the office that I work for. And I remembered one of the sort of bizarre little micro anxieties that I would have throughout the day is if you go into the restroom, it uses one of those motion detection switches for the lights, right? And especially now when Like nobody was up there. It was like me and maybe like 3 other people because everybody's still working from home from COVID. They're trying to get everybody back by August. But at the moment, nobody's up there. And so you can't bank on somebody else coming into the bathroom and resetting that timer. So if you happen to go in and you're needing to use the stall and I mean, you can't, you're behind the wall. And so the thing can't see you.
Right.
And so I am worried like constantly at any moment, the lights are going to go completely out in here. And it's not like I'm scared of the dark, but I'm like, this is going to suck because I'm going to have to continue with things in pitch blackness. There's no windows in here.
Right.
And then once I'm done, I mean, I'll have to, I guess,
stand and wave.
I won't see the light again until I'm able to leave this stall. And then the switch will be like, oh, sorry, I forgot you went in there. But
that's not my that's not my biggest concern in that situation.
What would be your biggest concern there?
Well, you can imagine my biggest concern would be I'm at peace with the fact that it's dark in here and I have to
Yeah.
But what happens when someone else comes in?
Oh, right.
And then and then they realize I'm in there in the dark. You were in there. And now I gotta figure out: do I just finish real quietly? Do I just like pretend I'm not here? Because if they're just coming in and leaving fast, like they're not settling in, I may just be real quiet and hope they don't hit the button on the way out.
Well, you just, or they didn't notice that one of the stalls is locked and there's shoes under it.
That's my anxiety.
The light goes on and you go, oh man. I just really own it. Turn the lights out.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get a nap.
Quote unquote.
Oh, okay. Well, that was
so you found some wet wipes and they were tested.
They were tested with plumbers.
I like that they weren't tested on plumbers. They were tested with plumbers. We used plumbers on these, and they seem to have made it okay.
Right?
That's a weird way of phrasing that.
That's what I'm saying. I have one more thing that I sent to you. I don't know if you have anything you want to talk about because
No, I mean you got some topics here that have clearly been weighing heavily on your mind.
Yeah, they have.
Now this is an interesting one, and the one right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way I discovered it was weird.
Okay.
So I was watching something on television and noticed had this taste in my mouth, and I noticed when I drank some water.
Thanks for the demonstration.
It was even more prominent.
Oh, weird.
But it was on my breath. It's so down. I'm like trying to.
I know what exactly.
Trying to taste it,
Humans are weird,
right? And I'm like, what is that? It was this oddly compelling and at the same time soothing smell taste mixture.
Mm-hmm.
There was something comforting about it. Something so familiar that it and it was it's childhood level.
Nostalgic, yeah.
Yeah. What is this? And then it came to me. I was like, this is the smell. This is the scent of when I would get a brand new, a Betamax tape. It was the smell of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Which was the first Betamax I ever actually owned.
Uh-huh.
And you take the cellophane off.
Mm-hmm.
And you slide that cartridge out of the box, the case, the box, the cardboard. Had that smell.
Yeah. Now I am assuming it is the same that VHS tapes have.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know because I think it's also kind of the same smell you get in the cacophony of smells that is, when it ends up becoming Blockbuster Video. But before that, when it was like Errol's or whatever else people had, and they had like the foam. Did you ever go to a place that had like they were like the bigger versions of it where they had clearly like cut the box out and like taped it onto some kind of holder thing, and then there was foam in the sides of it, so when you stuck the tape in, it was cushioned. Did you ever have that?
Well, I don't know that I have.
Yeah, and then when you went up to the front, that's when you got they put it in a different thing to go home.
Oh, weird.
And this is what they used, I guess, this is what they used to put on the shelf to show you like what you could get, and then sometimes it was empty.
Before
and you're all
Blockbuster, it seemed like every video store kind of had their own system.
That's probably
when it came
true.
to that.
Yeah.
I remember one that I went to that would have the box and it would be empty, and there would be this little tag hanging from a hook under it, and you had to pull the tag and go up there with the tag, or take the empty box up and give it to them, and they'd go in the back and give you the tape. But Blockbuster was the first time I saw where the actual tape was on the shelf behind the empty box.
Yes. Anyone who's like younger than 35 who's listening,
completely confused.
Like, what are you talking about? But that smell, that was the smell. That was the smell.
I remember the VHS smell, certainly.
But I'm like, why do I have this in my mouth?
Yeah, that is an unexpected place for it.
But then I figured it out.
Cool. I want to know what tastes like VHS and / Betamax tapes.
Ben & Jerry's containers do.
The container does?
Because now this is don't judge me too harshly, Marcus.
I love it when you start a sentence with that. I will do my absolute best.
When there's like less than half of a pint left of Ben & Jerry's, I'm just finishing it out of the thick thing.
I'm with you there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes. Look, who am I kidding? I start in the thing too, but you get to that point where you're like, if it's a certain level, you go to the freezer, you pull it out, you start, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna probably finish that.
Yeah.
Right. I actually prefer it that way because I don't have to actually exert any kind of portion control.
Right. Yeah.
When you start,
that there's an automatic end point.
Yeah, I mean, because I do lots of what I think are clever things to trick myself into believing that I've eaten less than I have. Like I like my classic move is the the phrase I was gonna say is not what I'm gonna say. I will tell you off air.
Okay.
But I'll wait till it softens enough, and then I'm like scraping around the edges, like the sides. So I kind of dig down around the sides, on all around. So I'm like maintaining
middle
integrity. The middle's high, man. The middle's high.
Yeah.
At the sides. Anyway, so this got down studio. When this got down to the bottom. And I figured what I did. This is the part that I don't want you to judge too much. I was nibbling on the edge of the carton.
You're chewing a little bit on the.
Well, you know how the carpet so this is without the lid on. The top part of it rolls over a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was like. Well, knibbling the underside of it, so kind of like I was like,
Hashtag.
I guess I found I was like breaking it out. I was like bending it out or something with it. I don't know.
Oh,
I was finished. I needed to eat more stuff, clearly, and so I just continued to eat the container. No, but I was pretty darn close to it. And so as I sat there, and I wasn't doing this. I mean, this I did it for a second. But then it occurred to me, this taste is in my mouth. So I go back to the container. That's it.
Wow.
So if you kids, if you want to experience the smell of
interesting little recipe for you.
You got to get Ben. I don't know if other ice cream flavors or
I
companies.
I was just thinking Ben & Jerry's uses recycled material.
Oh, come on.
There may be Betamax in that thing. That might be a Raiders of the Lost Ark tape case. recycled into Ben and Jerry's.
Oh no, no, it's gone. Yeah. Well, it's good while it lasted.
Well, maybe the next one you'll get will be Aliens.
I don't think I ever had that on Betamax. No, I didn't. Definitely not. I think one of my favorite. I had the tapes when I would record things off of, I don't know, like HBO or something. I think my very favorite had 3 on it.
Yeah, you cram as many on there as you can.
And the 3
on SLMFP. I mean, it's like freaking the worst possible resolution just to get as much on there as possible. Like, why wouldn't I go for a 9-hour tape? It only moves the tape like 6 inches every hour. Now that's razor sharp quality right there.
So
anyway,
yeah. So I think that my favorite one it had First Blood.
Oh, there you go.
Right. The Toy.
Ha ha! Richard Pryor.
Yes. And I think the third was Smokey and the Bandit.
Ah, Smokey and the Bandit, right?
Yeah, that was a good tape. I mean, that was a solid tape.
That's a good tape.
Right? That's what I'm saying. My mother probably still owns it. She probably still has it somewhere. I don't know no way of playing it.
Right, yeah. I'm surprised that, like, how long were you able to hang in there with the Betamax?
Oh, a long time. Till it.
Yeah, it seems like.
I mean, I
barely remember like when Betamax just kind of stopped being a thing.
Well, it was always sad. I always felt like a lesser person when I would go to the rental place, and there were literally 2 sides to the place, and in the beginning, the early days, it was like divided in half. Like half of the place was Betamax, half the place was VHS, and it was like those people, and we judged them the way they judged us, probably.
Right. Yeah. Right. Those are sort of Mac
the riffraff is on that side.
Right.
Here we are. But
slowly, the riffraff started moving their borders.
Like
and taking over Beta Land.
And eventually it's like this little thing. And we would just look longingly, like, look at all the selection.
Yeah, and you guys had like a squeaky turny shelf. It's like, oh look, the toy.
But Betamax, by all measures, was the superior
that's technology. The weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it was a higher quality, it was a smaller tape. It was there were many areas where it was better than VHS, and yet VHS, power of, I don't know, lobbying or something.
Who owned Beta? It was Beta a Sony product, or was that
Sony Betamax? Yeah.
I think that's probably the problem.
And that's what happened with Blu-rays too. I think.
Blu-rays, yeah. Oh, Sony Blu-ray. Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to
HD DVDs were that was owned by somebody.
Do people
Sony?
Do people
no,
still
Sony was Blu-ray.
Sony was Blu-ray.
I guess they got their revenge on that one.
Yeah, but then what happened? Is Blu-ray still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it is.
HD DVD was the other one.
I don't even.
That was that weird one where you were going to buy the movie, but then you had to also buy the right to play it or something like that. It was some kind of weird digital rights management thing that they did with that I was like, nobody's going to go for that.
Right. I think we've talked about this before, but I'm so opposed to using my DVD player now that it sits on the second shelf under my television, completely unplugged. It's been there for now like 2.5 years, unplugged. I don't even have an HDMI running into it. It's just there. It's dead weight. And anytime I watch a DVD, I use the Xbox, which is the worst interface whatsoever to watch a.
Oh God, it's terrible.
But it's connected.
How often do you need it?
Yeah, I mean, and so, but it's so bad that I will purchase movies off of Apple TV
that you already own,
that I know I have in a pile in the other room. And I feel so dirty about it. Like, and Michelle sits there, I know, and I think like she knows that I have this movie, and I'm about to buy it.
I have to
And
do it quick.
God bless her, she just like she doesn't say anything. Sometimes she'll say, "Don't we own that?" Like I don't know.
Well, we got
Have we just met,
got
woman?
it twice now.
Have we just? And the other thing is like we can like this like you can take it with you. You'll have it wherever you want.
Right, exactly. Like as soon as I hit this purchase button, now it's on my phone, it's on your phone, it's on that thing, it's on the iPad, it's on
Parents
the Apple
can
TV,
watch
it's
it. If
everywhere.
you're home, you can like
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yes, because you have the whole friends family sharing thing with Apple stuff too. So if you share your account, you can watch things that those other people have purchased also. Like this is the great thing about having adult, at least one adult son at this point, one on his way, is that they begin to purchase movies that you want to see.
Right. I
remember the first time. I think it was what movie was it? I don't think it was Inception. I think it was what's that other time travel movie? Have you where it's kind of like a time police kind of thing, but they're like you can move forward and backwards through time. And what's that called?
I don't know.
It's relatively recent. Oh, you would like it. You would like it.
I've missed it. Oh, is it Tenet?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Tenet. Did you
I
see
keep
it?
meaning to watch that.
Oh, you should watch it.
That's Nolan, right? Christopher Nolan.
Why do you ask me things like this?
Oh, sorry.
You mean
That's
the
a movie,
director?
right?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Yep.
Okay.
And he bought it. He bought that movie,
Okay.
and so I was like, oh look, I can watch this.
There you go. Was
So
it cool?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
It's great, but it happened because he's in Washington and he bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have it too. Goes around,
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, he used his money.
And they do things like where you're like, I could get up and go and get this thing, but it's $5 to buy this right now. Click.
I know, but here's the other thing. If somebody, like if Emily, for example, God bless her, walked into the room and you said, honey, can you get me that DVD? Can you bring that DVD and put it in there so I can watch this thing? And she said to you, sure. Well, that'll be $5. You'd say, come on.
Right.
So you'd rather, like,
well,
you won't spend it on a human being helping you.
In her defense, going and getting that DVD would involve going to our storage unit because I have zero physical media in my house right now.
Well, then that's different. Okay, so you're really... So wait, you're paying somebody every month to hold on to these things.
Yeah, pretty much. Among other things, but
you have no interest in watching.
Right. I haven't seen them since I put them in there.
I feel like we should
and yet
pay a visit
somehow
to your storage locker.
I still have all of them in there, and I haven't done anything about it. But then who's going to buy them? I mean, no one.
Oh, no one. No.
Yeah, the only DVD player I have in the house, I mean, the Xbox One, and I guess it plays DVDs. I don't know if it does Blu-rays.
Yes, it does.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's one, and then the drive in my media computer that I use to rip all of those DVDs that are in my storage unit. That's the other one that I have in the house.
There you go. Oh, yeah, I wanted to drive somewhere, too.
Yeah.
I actually bought one of those drives because I couldn't find the one I already had. But then eventually found that one.
Well, they're pretty cheap. I mean,
I know. I don't even know where the replacement one is now. It's because you use it
like once
you're
for like 5 discs.
I gotta install this thing,
right?
Or I gotta burn this one, CD or something, and then you're never gonna use it again. It's ridiculous. Anyway, well. Oh.
Yes.
I have a Loki to watch.
Yes, you do, and it's a very interesting one.
Oh,
we just got done watching it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, see, now I know what I'm going to do tonight.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy it. It came with.
Was it tested with plumbers? Is the question.
That's with the horns on Loki's head. That would be an interesting test. I don't know.
don't know.